Hello, welcome. This is Yoga for Self-Care. I'm Kimberly. Good morning. As we get settled in, do make sure you have a strap, a couple of blocks, a bolster, a couple of blankets, and anything else you like for Shavasana, and that should do the job. So as we get settled in, let's go ahead and start by centering. So find a nice tall seat, please, and then we'll check in. Find a nice tall seat, please. You might reach back, pull the flesh away from your sitting bones, and anchor your hands wherever feels just right. On your knees, your thighs, your lap. And before we begin our check-ins, taking this time to really arrive, to bring yourself into this space and onto your mat. Allow your spine to grow nice and tall. Broaden your collarbones. Melt the shoulder blades onto your back towards your spine. And slide the corners of your neck back, stacking your head right over your heart. And bring your attention to your natural breath. Noticing how you entered your practice today, non-judgmentally. Noticing the quality of your breath as we begin. Begin to do a sensing or a scanning from the crown of the head all the way down to the soles of the feet, noticing what you might have brought with you to the mat. All parts are welcome. If you come across any area of stagnation, tension, and stress, take a smooth inhale through the nose, and as if through a straw, exhale through pursed lips. I call this a who breath or a straw breath. Once again, like that, smooth inhale through the nose, and through a straw, exhale. We'll change it up a little bit. A smooth inhale through the nose. Through a straw, exhale a third of the way. Pause. Exhale another third. Pause. Exhale completely. Pause. Inhale through the nose, hold the breath at the top. Out the mouth, sigh it out. Good. Finding a resting breath. Bringing palms together sweetly at your heart, please. And calling to mind a word or phrase that brought you to the practice this morning. Let's sing the sound of Om one time together. First, a breath. Take a nice inhale. And let it go. Exhale. Inhale. Om. Bowing your thinking mind to your heart. Unwinding your hands to your knees, your lap, softly blinking your eyes to open. So welcome. This is Yoga for Self-Care. I'm Kimberly. Let's go around the room and check in. Tell everybody your name. Let me know if there's anything going on in your body that I need to know about, that you want me to know about. And I'd love to know the word or phrase that brought you to practice today if you want to share that. Yeah? Let's start here.
My name is Nancy. I broke my wrist a year ago, so that's an issue. I have some knee issues. Serenity is the word that I thought of.
Okay, thank you. I like that.
Janet, and if we could do something for the neck,
Absolutely.
that's always a good thing. And I guess the word that I usually think about when I think of yoga is trying to be non-judgmental.
Yeah, thank you.
Raylyn, nothing in particular body-wise today, just a little bit of everything. Feel good. And my word that brings me to yoga is health. It's for my health.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I'm Scott, and I bothered the muscles of my low back gardening last weekend, been bothering this week today. So I was thinking of relaxation of my muscles, different parts. But my word will be acceptance.
All right, thank you. Ernie.
Ernie, I'm doing okay within okay. And my phrase would be healing, health, and happiness.
Okay, all right, thank you. Hi.
Hi, good morning. I'm Rachel. Sorry for being late.
No worries.
Today maybe trapezius muscle specifically.
Okay.
And my word is recenter.
Recenter. All right, thank you.
I'm Donna, and my hips are eternally tight, not as tight today as a lot of other days, but that's always where I focus work. And my thought today was commitment to practice, because it's hard for me to show up for yoga.
I think showing up is sometimes the hardest part, but you're here. All right, thank you. And once again, I'm Kimberly, if you're new to me, if you're at home practicing with me. So we'll take the next 75 minutes to really turn off all of our devices. If you're at home, you can't turn off your computer, but to really reboot, to come back to ourselves. We'll do a full body reboot. We'll start at the feet, work all the way up to a nice thorough practice. So we'll start lying on your back, and as we do that, I'd love you to have 2 blocks. You have your 2 blocks next to your yoga mat. You'll have your strap reachable. If you need a pillow behind your head, you're welcome to snuggle a pillow behind your head. And I will meet you lying all the way back. Take your time. There's no one way to do anything. And as you arrive back, you might wiggle, you might take a great big stretch like it's first thing in the morning. Somewhere it is. Woo. And while you're reaching and stretching, stretch the right side a little bit longer than the left side. And then stretch the left side a little bit longer than the right side. And do that one more time, please. Good. And then as you take a full body stretch, deep inhale, hold the breath at the top. And sigh it out. Good. Melt your arms down alongside the body, please. And one knee at a time, bend your knees so your feet are flat on the earth. And I want to give you the choice to stay here in constructive rest if you have any low back itises. Otherwise, we'll come into Supta Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of the feet together and the knees are wide, using those blocks to snuggle. And if you can't reach them, please raise a hand. I will bring them to you. Using your blocks to really snuggle into the tops of your thighs where it's fleshy. And the blocks have multiple height settings, so really take time to raise the blocks high enough that you feel held. The idea is not that we're going into our deepest hip opener here. It's an invitation to begin to soften. The soles of the feet are together. Allow the legs to be heavy. And if it feels like you're holding or gripping in the inseams of the legs, once again, elevate the blocks. And let's rest one hand on your low belly and one hand at your heart, please. One hand on your low belly and one hand at your heart. And take this time to arrive right here. And as we bake here, a few breath cycles together, I'm going to read a passage from the Book of Awakening entitled The Treasure at Our Feet. It starts with a quote by Agnes Repplier, who says, "It is not easy to find happiness in ourselves, and it is not possible to find it elsewhere." Author goes on to write, "If forced to name them, the biggest obstacles to peace are ourselves and the world. Often en route to the truth of my soul, I get stuck in myself or lost in the world, or the reverse. Still, we carry the treasured essence within. It is always with us, very near, though it may seem far. And there is no place else to find the treasure but underneath our agitation. It waits there like gold on the bottom of a shallow lake. And though we stand in the water, the treasure at our feet, this stirring of our reflection keeps us from seeing. More often than not, I need to stop moving and thinking and fixing and simply reach within myself. So run if you like, for it will all come with you. Or think and reason as many times you must, for your heart will outlast the ripples of your thought. Or blame the things of this world if you need to, for the things you blame will eventually disappear. Then you and I will still be left with ourselves and the world and the treasure at our feet." Bringing your hands to your outermost knees, please. Slowly lift the knees up, anchor the feet flat on your mat. Pause. And one knee at a time, hug the knees all the way into the chest. Give them a good hug, a good squeeze. You might rock a little bit from side to side or find some intuitive movement here. Sliding your hands to your kneecaps, fingers will face the toes. As you inhale, knees move forward, arms lengthen. As you exhale, bend your elbows, draw your knees in, maybe they widen a little bit. Again, inhale, knees move forward, a pause at the top. And exhale, hug them in, pause at the bottom. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. Gluing the big toes together will make circles. So inhale, knees move forward, out, apart, and back in. And forward, out, apart, and back in. And continuing at your rhythm. I like the big toes together, sometimes a point of stability. It feels really yummy in the body, but if you want to separate the big toes, you might explore that. And we'll circle in the opposite direction. Good. And the next time the knees draw together, pause. Keep the right knee hugging in, plant your left foot flat on the earth. Right knee hugging in, left foot flat on the earth. Interlace your fingers to the back of your right thigh, please. Interlace your fingers to the back of your right thigh and inhale thigh forward into your hands. Flex your right foot and ankle and reach that right foot a little bit or a lot of bit towards the ceiling. Maybe the knee stays soft or bent. Very slowly we'll flex and point that foot and ankle, isolating all the bones of the foot here. You might circle the ankle. Good. In both directions. Good. And then flex that foot. Give that knee a good hug. And we'll set that right foot down beside the left foot. As you exhale, left knee hugs in. Interlace the fingers to the back of your left thigh, please. Inhale, thigh forward into your hands. Flex that foot and ankle and reach that left leg or left foot a little bit or a lot of it towards the ceiling. Inviting that left low back to melt towards gravity. Good, there you go. And we'll flex and point that foot and ankle. You might circle that ankle. In both directions. Good. And flexing that foot. Rebend that knee and set that left foot down. This time we'll add on. So exhale, hug your right knee in. Flex that foot and ankle, and this time we'll cross that flexed foot off the edge of your left thigh, setting up for a figure 4 variation. We'll keep that left foot anchored to the floor, that right foot flexing just off the edge of the thigh. And place your left palm on your left hip bone in the front, please, where it's really bony. And place your right palm mid-right thigh in the front, where it's really fleshy, just not on the knee. As you inhale, allow your right thigh to draw closer to you or towards the back wall. And as you exhale, press your right thigh forward with your hand. And we'll continue with that. Inhale, thigh draws towards you or towards the back wall. And exhale, thigh presses forward. Now, as you continue this gentle moving meditation, if you feel a rocking or rolling in your left hip, please press a little more firmly with your left hand and a little less firmly with your right hand. So we're not rocking around in the sacrum. Good. The inhale draws that knee close, and the exhale presses it away. Good. We'll be focusing a little more on the exhale side of the breath in this practice today. The exhale turns on your body's parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest. Inviting the body to release, to let go, to unwind. So you might choose to stay exactly as you are. For more sensation, as you exhale, maybe that left thigh hugs in towards the chest. Just an option. Reaching between the thighs with your right hand and around that left thigh with your left hand. Now, if the shoulder's just stressed out, maybe you separate your fingers or set a block under the foot or lower back down. Good. You might catch the shin if that feels easy. Yeah, and if it feels yummy to extend that left leg a little bit or a lot of it to the sky, be my guest. Good. Breathe. Shoulders stay soft. The jaw is soft here. One of my favorite things to do is to flutter the lips. You might inhale. The only caveat is that you do spit all over yourself here, but Good, always makes me laugh. And take 2 more breaths here, wherever you are. On an exhale, if that left foot is lifted, we'll set that foot back down. Hug that right knee back into the chest, please. Give that knee a good hug. And find your strap, hopefully conveniently located. If you don't have one, raise a hand, I'll bring one to you. And we'll strap up that right foot at the base of the arch or the front edge of the heel. Base of the arch, front edge of the heel, and reach that right leg up into the strap. And resist by drawing the strap down towards that right hip. Good. And as we catch the strap like reins for now, right hand on the right side, left hand on the left side. Begin to bend your right knee in towards the chest. And then exhale, press the foot back up into the strap. And do this a couple times. As you exhale, bend the knee. And inhale, reach it back up into the strap. And one more time, please. Exhale, bend. Resist through the strap as you inhale, press that foot up. Good. From here, we'll catch hold of both sides of the strap in your left hand and place your right palm on the front of your right thigh. Place your right palm on the front of your right thigh and press your right palm forward towards the front of the room. Press your palm forward, take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring your right leg a little bit over to the left. Keep pressing your palm forward, and maybe that left knee drops a little bit to the right. You might keep your right hand pressing forward or slide that right arm out to the right. And breathe. Good. For more sensation, you might bend your left elbow. Drawing that right leg a little more towards your left shoulders. More sensation isn't better. You might soften out a bit. Good. One more breath. Let's inhale that right leg back up to the sky. As you exhale here, bend the knee into the chest, but keep the strap looped around the foot. Keep the strap looped around the foot. Slowly slide your left leg to the top of your mat, please. Slide your left leg to the top of your mat. Heel is back, thigh bone is back. Press your right foot forward into your strap. You might stay here with the knee bent, or begin to reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. Remember what it felt like to press your right thigh forward. Keep that action, and maybe you invite the toes back. The toes might touch the floor behind you. I'm just kidding. Breathe. You find your edge, please back off a bit. Good. And as you exhale, let's re-hug your right knee into the chest. Release the strap, please. And let's take a full body stretch. Arms and legs nice and long. You might hook your thumbs, try to pull your thumbs apart. Flex your feet. Wiggle, yawn, shake. And then we'll unwind the arms into a mini Shavasana. You might move your props a little bit out of the way. Arms can slide open. And take a pause here. Just notice. Notice the residue. Notice the right side compared to the left side. And then nice and slow, let's begin to re-bend your knees. And we'll give the knees a good hug, a good squeeze. You might rock a little bit from side to side. And this time we'll keep the left knee hugging in. Plant your right foot flat on the earth. Flex your left foot and ankle, and we'll cross that flexed foot off the edge of your right thigh. Good. Placing right palm on your right hip bone in the front, and your left palm in the left mid thigh where it's fleshy, just not on the knee. Good. Inhale that left thigh towards you or towards the back wall. And as you exhale, thigh presses forward towards the front of the room. Again, inhale, thigh moves towards you. And exhale, thigh moves away. And as you continue, once again, you might press a little more firmly with your right hand and a little less firmly with your left hand. So we're not rocking or rolling in our sacrum. The bowl of the pelvis stays nice and neutral, balanced. The inhale draws the thigh close, and the exhale presses it away. Good. Either choosing to stay here, or as you exhale, maybe you hug that right thigh in. Reaching between the thighs with your left hand, around that thigh with your right hand. Breathe. And keeping that focus on the exhale. Good. Maybe you're holding on to the shin for more sensation. Maybe that leg is stretching a little bit or a lot of it towards the sky. It doesn't make you a better person. But if it feels good, honor that. Breathe. One more breath. If that foot is lifted, exhale, set that right foot back down. Unwind your left leg, give the knee a good hug, a good squeeze, please. And we'll find the strap and loop the strap around the arch of your left foot a little more towards the base of the heel. And reach that left leg up into the strap, resisting by drawing the strap down. So right hand on the right side, left hand on the left side. As you exhale, bend that left knee in towards the chest. Resist through the strap as you inhale, reach that leg up, maybe backer. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale, bend that left knee. Resist through the strap, inhale, reach it up. And 1 more time, please. Exhale, bend. Inhale, reach and stay. We'll catch hold of both sides of the strap in your right hand and place your left palm on the front of your left thigh. Press your left palm forward, take an inhale. And as you exhale, left leg to the right, right knee might drop a little bit to the left. Keep pressing that left palm forward, and maybe you slide your left hand out to the left. And breathe. Good. Keep that left buttocks fairly anchored here. There you go. And perhaps bending your right elbow, beginning to draw the leg a little more towards right shoulder, without lifting or hiking that left hip up. Good. And 1 more breath. As you inhale, reach that left leg back up to the sky. As you exhale, rebend that knee, but keep the strap around the foot. Rebend that knee and let's slide your right leg. Slide your right leg to the top of your mat. Heel is back, thigh bone back. And begin to press that left foot forward and up into your strap. You might imagine that left hand on the front of the thigh, pressing that thigh forward. You might stay here or rebend one or both knees. Or you might invite that left leg back without overdoing. Just do. Breathe. Good. One more breath. As you exhale, rebend your left knee into the chest. Release the strap, please. And let's take a full body stretch. Arms and legs nice and long. You might hook opposite thumbs. You might point or flex your feet. Wiggle, yawn, shake, shimmy. Good, very nice. And when you are ready, we'll meet in that Shavasana once again. Allow the feet to flop open, arms to unwind, and rest. Notice. And then nice and slow, begin to re-bend your knees. Plant your feet flat on the earth, please. Stretch the arms open like the letter T. Palms will face the ceiling. If it feels better to goal post your arms, or even to reach your arms towards the back of the room, honor that. And we'll set up for an easy twist. So bumping the hips a little bit over to the left, please. Draw the knees in, and exhale, knees up and over to the right. Easy twist, all the way over you go. Good. Option to drape your right hand on the top of that left thigh. If that block is there and you want to snuggle the block between your knee, shins, and ankles, if there is a space there, or if there's any pulling in your low back, add a spacer there. If that left wrist is hovering, you might snuggle your block underneath that left wrist or upper arm. Softening in. We call this an easy twist, not because it is necessarily easy. We want to find a sense of surrender here, of effortlessness. So what would that feel like in your body? Notice how the head or neck wants to move. Does it want to move with the twist or away from the twist? Or does it want to stay neutral? Recognizing in these practices that deeper or twisting more isn't necessarily better. Sometimes doing less feels kinder. Good. 2 more breaths here. And 1 more full breath. Nice inhale. Stay as you exhale, navel towards your spine. 1 knee at a time. Inhale, come on up, please. Set your feet down. Let's come back to center. We'll take a pause there. Arms might open out like a T. They might goal post. Or they might reach towards the back wall. We'll bump the hips up and over to the other side, to the right. Draw the knees in and exhale, knees up and over to the left. Once again, maybe you snuggle a block or 2 between knee, shins, and ankles. Or underneath that right shoulder or wrist. Softening in. Softening in. Good. The head can roll wherever Whatever feels good. And 2 more breaths. One more breath. Nice inhale. Stay as you exhale, navel towards your spine. And one knee at a time, come on up, please. Set your feet down, reset, and hug your knees all the way into the chest, please. You might rock a little bit from side to side, or you might take small circles with your kneecaps on the ceiling. Good. And let's begin to roll to rest on your right side in a fetal shape, please, using your upper arm as a pillow. We've been lying back for a while, so we want to move really, really slowly here. Let's begin to make our way up into a child's pose shape. Maybe the knees are padding. Maybe there's support or a doubling of your yoga mat. And really set up your pose. The knees might be together. The knees might be wide. One will feel better for you. And the arms can be forward or the arms can be back. You choose. Good. If the forehead doesn't comfortably meet the earth, you might stack your hands under your forehead or a block under your forehead. Good. And sending your breath into the back of the body. Stretching your arms forward if they're not forward already. Come a little higher under your fingertips, finger pads, and gaze forward between your hands. Gaze forward, lengthen your heart a little longer, and begin to crawl yourself up and over to the right a little bit or a lot of it. And once you arrive, soften in. Maybe your forehead is resting on your right forearm. Maybe your right hand is stacking on your left hand. Breathe. And sending breath into your left side ribs. Good. So if the forehead is hovering, you might bend that right elbow and rest the forearm underneath the forehead. One more breath. And very slowly unwind to center. Grow a little longer in the center. Come back to your finger pads, fingertips, reach your heart forward. And then ease yourself up and over to the second side. Once you arrive, soften in. If the forehead doesn't comfortably meet the earth, bring your left forearm underneath your forehead. If the arms are long, maybe you stack your left hand on your right hand. And breathe. Good. Sending breath into your right ribs. breath. And slowly unwind to center. And begin to snake your way onto your belly, all the way onto your belly, stacking your hands under your forehead once you arrive. Now, if you find once you get here you need a little padding underneath your hips, or if there's anywhere that doesn't comfortably touch the earth, you might fill that space with a little padding. Good. Now let's bring the legs as wide as your sticky mat is wide. As wide as your sticky mat is wide. Curl your toes under, all 10 toes. Curl your toes under, pick up your knees, press out through your heels, and then lower the knees down, flatten the feet. You might do that 1 foot at a time, or you might do that one more time, both legs together. Good. Press your toenails, tops of your feet down into your mat. Drag your toenails up towards your hips. Something might happen in your low belly. And we'll make our way onto our forearms for Sphinx pose. Good. I'll keep it more of a Hatha Sphinx here. So elbows underneath the shoulders. If this feels too much, walk your elbows forward. You might instead catch hold of opposite elbows here. Totally fine. As your toenails draw towards you, broaden your collarbones. Melt the shoulder blades onto your back. And lengthen the base of the skull so the chin draws down just enough that the hairline can lengthen up towards the ceiling. Hands are dragging back isometrically. Take a nice inhale here. As you exhale, take a peek over your right shoulder. Good. Breathe. If it feels too much, you start to feel lightheaded, bring your gaze forward. Good. Find 1 point to gaze at. 1 point to gaze at. Good. One more breath. Very slowly inhale back to center. Draw your hands back, heart forward. As you exhale, lower forward and all the way down. Rest. Stack your hands under your forehead, please. Give your hips a little bit of a wag. If you want to bend your knees and wag your shins from side to side, sometimes that feels good. And as we set up for the second side, bringing forehead down, press your toenails down, hug them towards you. And we'll come back to our forearms for Sphinx pose. Once again, maybe the elbows are interlaced if that felt better. Broaden your collarbones, shoulder blades onto your back, lengthen the base of the skull, take an inhale. As you exhale, gaze over your other shoulder. I think that would be your left shoulder. Breathe, almost as if you can see your toenails. Finding 1 point to keep your gaze on. 1 point to keep your gaze on. If it feels too much, bring your gaze back. Good. Try not to let your right shoulder dip, so the collarbones stay broad. Back of the heart forward. Good. One more breath. And very slowly bring the gaze back to neutral. Take an inhale here, drag your hands back, back of the heart forward. Exhale, lower forward and all the way down, stack your hands and rest. Wag your hips a bit from side to side. You might bend your knees and wag your shins from side to side if that feels good. As the forehead comes down to the earth, plant your hands right under your shoulders, please. Anchor your pubic bone down into your mat and inhale to a tabletop position. As you exhale, reach your hips back towards your heels, child's pose. Bring your palms all the way together. So if your arms are forward, if they're back, you might keep them back. If they're forward, bring your palms all the way together. Bend your elbows so your fingertips face the ceiling. Bend your elbows so your fingertips face the ceiling and allow the upper arm bones to roll open towards the side walls. You might crawl your elbow joints a little forward-er. For more sensation, you might bring your hands all the way between your shoulder blades. Just an option. You might change your mind. Breathe. One more breath. And then slowly unwinding your arms, drag your hands back towards your knees and round yourself up to sit. Shift the hips to one side, stretch your legs forward, give the knees a little bit of a shake. So as we move into upper body a little more, I'm going to offer suggestions as to how to sit, but if there's another way that feels better, I want you to honor that. We'll start in a variation of Sukhasana, but I want you to sit up a little bit taller than you think you should. You might even sit on a bolster or a couple of blankets. So sit up a little bit taller than you think you should, and we're going to see what it feels like to bring your ankles right underneath your knees. If this already feels crummy, you might take an easy seat, but I want to show another variation here, or another way to support it. So if it feels like you're really holding or gripping once again in the legs, you might take a blanket and roll it, and place that blanket roll underneath your shin, so it really supports you here. And if this doesn't feel good, find another seat or an easy seat. Reach back, pull the flesh away from your sitting bones. I'm going to move this support. And we'll start by bringing your arms down alongside the body. And if you've lifted yourself so high that you can't feel the earth, lift the earth up, bring blocks under your hands. Good. Broaden your collarbones, keep the shoulder blades soft, and very slowly roll your palms open. Good. As you inhale, reach your arms up, parallel, look up. And as you exhale, gaze forward, lower your arms down, rebound the crown of the head up towards the sky. Good. We'll do that again. Inhale, reach your arms up, gaze up. And as you exhale, lower your arms down, gaze forward, rebound the crown of the head tall. Good. And this time, inhale, reach your arms up, gaze up. As you exhale, lower your arms shoulders height, just shoulders height here. Pause. Roll your palms open. Melt your shoulder blades onto your back. Good. Turn your palms forward, take a nice inhale, right arm on top. Give yourself a hug, a good hug. Good. You might crawl your fingers closer towards one another. I like to relax my head and neck here. And I want to give the choice to stay right here. Giving yourself a good hug is so yummy and actually makes oxytocin in your system. So you might stay here or lift your elbows up. Stack your head right over your heart. And we'll come into eagle arm, so bottom forearm lifts, top forearm lifts. You might bring it forward, find your palms or the backs of your hands here, or simply hug your elbows. What would it feel like to move your elbows a little bit forward? Head right over your heart. And as we bake here for 5 breaths, a suggestion here is small circles of your elbows. If sitting cat-cow feels yummy or wagging your forearms, it's also welcome. You might circle in the opposite direction. As we come back to that center space, head is right over your heart. Notice the jaw here. Can you keep the jaw soft? Maybe the bottom jaw moves a little bit from side to side. Good. One more breath. To unwind, we'll give ourselves a hug once again. Reach your arms open. Turn your palms towards the body and try to reach your fingertips back towards the wall behind you. Good. And then bring your fingertips down towards the floor. Lean back, stretch your legs forward, shake out your knees. And we'll switch the crossing. So the other shin comes forward. Feet are flexing or flointing. And maybe there's that rolled support underneath your lower legs or blocks underneath your knees or thighs. Reach back, pull the flesh away from the sitting bones. And this time bring your fingertips down to the earth once again. Sit up a little bit taller. And we'll start by wiggling your fingers this time. Wiggle your fingers like you're tickling your neighbor. Maybe you actually do. And as you wiggle, does anybody know why we're wiggling the fingers? Does anybody care why we're wiggling the fingers? Then I'm not going to tell you. No, I will. Each finger connects to a different part of the heart, so we're indirectly nourishing or stoking the heart. When you're ready, relax your fingers, roll your palms open, dissolve the shoulder blades onto your back. Shoulder blades onto your back. Good. Roll your palms forward, take a nice inhale, left arm on top, give yourself a hug. A good hug. You might stay here, you might relax your head and neck. You might stay with this. Otherwise, sitting up a little taller, and we'll find your expression of eagle. Your expression of eagle. Elbows hug. Maybe the palms or the backs of the hands hug. And stack your head right over your heart. I want to add one more element here. Notice that space between your shoulders and your elbows, the top of your chest. And as you inhale, can you lift and lengthen the chest towards the crown of the head, or the sternum bone towards the crown of the head? Good. And as we bake here, 5 breaths, maybe little circles of the elbows. Jaw stays soft. Circling in both directions. Good. One more breath. And slowly give yourself that hug once again, a good squeeze. Reach the arms out, turn your palms down, and slowly reach your arms back towards the wall behind you. Bring your fingertips down towards the earth, lean back, stretch the legs forward, shake out your knees. Might feel good here to bend your knees, bring your feet nice and wide, and windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Now if you're sitting really tall or really high, you might adjust your seat if this feels a bit too much. Give the knees a nice shake, a good shimmy here. And I want to do just a couple more things here. I want to get into the neck and the face a little bit, and the jaw. So we'll come into another seat. I'm going to offer a modified Virasana, taking a block or even a bolster between your heels. Now, if this feels like pressure behind the knees, please take a blanket, unfold it one fold, and snuggle it really, really cozy behind the knees. It creates a little space behind the knees. It might change your life, or at least change your pose. And if this doesn't feel good, you might stack a second block, or you might sit in a way that feels just right. There's no right or wrong here. I'm looking for a nice tall spine. That is the most important to me. Reach back, pull the flesh back once again. And as we take pause here, stack your hands in your lap. You might gaze down the bridge of your nose, you might softly close your eyes, and allow your spine to grow even taller. Your low back is lifting out of the sacrum. That thoracic mid-back is lifting from the lumbar. And the cervical spine is lengthening from that thoracic, growing taller. And crown of the head taller. Good. Unwind the hands to the earth, please. Let's take an inhale together. As you exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Right ear, right shoulder. And this might be plenty. Notice if you've just lifted your shoulders to touch your ears. Good. And then maybe that right arm drapes around the ear or the temple. You might stay here or reach your left arm out to the left and allow gravity to relax it down. Option to let it hover. You might explore some circles with that right arm or the wrist. Or you might let gravity hold it. Breathe. Good. Jaw stays soft. Really allowing that left arm to relax towards gravity. Allow your left ear or temple to lift a little bit up into your top hand. Keeping that top hand light, begin to glide the chin towards your right armpit. And we'll breathe there. I like to find tiny little micro movements here until I find sensation whispering. Not yelling, but whispering. Maybe that right shoulder softens. Breathe. And we'll bring that top hand to your left cheek. Top hand to your left cheek. And very slowly glide the chin over your right shoulder. Glide the chin over your right shoulder without allowing your opposite shoulder, that left shoulder, to dip in. So keep the front of the shoulder moving to the back of the shoulder. Breathe. That right arm will unwind to the earth. The chin rolls towards that right armpit and towards the top of the chest. We'll pause there. Sideways long, sternum bone lifted, head is heavy here. And very slowly stack your head up. Very slowly inhale, breathe your arms up. You might look up. As you exhale, gaze forward, lower your arms, grow the crown of the head taller. Good. And take the second side, sit up tall, take an inhale here. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. If you need to adjust your seat, please do that. You might stay here or drape your left arm around the ear or the temple. Try not to let the head bow forward, so I like that ear in line with the upper arm. Maybe that right arm reaches out to the right and gravity relaxes it down. Maybe it hovers or touches down. You might explore circles of that right arm bone or the wrist. Breathe. If that arm is moving, allow gravity to take hold, relaxing it down. As that arm relaxes down, allow your right temple or ear to lift up into your top hand. And very slowly glide the chin towards your left armpit. Maybe there's little micro movements there. Good. And softening into sensation. And jaws relaxed. And bringing your top hand to your right cheek and slowly gliding that chin over your left shoulder. As the chin glides over your left shoulder, keep that right shoulder leaning back, or the front of the shoulder to the back of the shoulder. Breathe. Unwind that left arm. Glide the chin towards the armpit, towards the top of the chest. We'll pause, breathe, shoulders stay soft. And very slowly stack your head up. One more time, inhale, reach your arms up, look up. And exhale, lower your arms all the way down. Very, very nice. Lean back, stretch your legs forward, move your props to the side. Shake out your knees. And since we were sitting on the knees a bit, bring your hands like very loving fists to your kneecaps. We're not moving the kneecaps here, but very gently give your knees a little massage here. I think we know this intuitively. Nothing aggressive here. Releasing any stuckness, stagnation in the knees. And circle in the opposite direction. Good. And then shake it out. Great. We're going to set ourselves up for Shavasana here. And I'm going to recommend a few ways to come into your Shavasana. There's no one way to do anything. I like to take a block towards the back of my mat, take the bolster at an angle over the block, and take one blanket, and you'll roll it. And I'll give a few options here. Before you lie back, you have your blanket there. I like the idea of the soles of the feet in the blanket. If you have an anxious mind, or you might instead place the blanket to support the backs of your feet. So a couple choices here. And we'll add a pillow today, a really, really yummy pillow. And we'll build it together. If you need an extra blanket, raise a hand, I'll bring you one. Okay. So we're going to build a head nest together. So you'll take your blanket as it comes off the step. And then you'll flip it on its side. You'll take the narrow edge and you'll fold it over about 2/3 of the way. So there's a little bit of a lip at the bottom for your neck here. You'll take the corners and you'll roll them in. And I'll show this again, so don't worry. You'll take the corners and you'll roll them in. So it looks like so. Right? I'll show that again. So you fold it over about 2/3 of the way. And then you take the corners and you roll them in. And then you'll place that pillow at the back of your mat so that 2 inches is for your neck here. And really the best part is a karate chop in the center. And you could do that over and over again. I do that to my pillow every night before I go to bed. So the idea is that it really cradles your head here. And begin to make your way back into your Shavasana. And if this doesn't feel yummy, you might get rid of this block instead and learn this variation from Judith Lasater, who's considered the mother of restoratives. To me, it feels so yummy, but if it doesn't to you, we change it. So take all the time you need here to be absolutely comfy cozy. To be absolutely comfy cozy. If you'd like to be covered with a blanket, or if you have an eye pillow nearby, it's a beautiful time to find that. And as we begin to arrive in this final shape together, let's do a final sensing or scanning from the crown of the head all the way down to the soles of the feet. Are you still holding or gripping anywhere at all? And if you are, take a smooth inhale through the nose. And out the mouth, let it go. So do that one more time. Smooth inhale. And let it go. Rest. The jaw stays soft. The inner ears are broadening. Softening the skin around your eyes. And allowing the skin of the forehead to relax down towards the nose. And rest. Shavasana. Deepening the breath. Wiggling fingers and toes. Circling wrists and ankles. And stretching and yawning like it's first thing in the morning. Slowly bending your knees and rolling to rest on a side of your choosing. 2 or 3 breaths. And pressing the top palm down and bringing yourself all the way up to a comfortable, tall seat, just like we started. Maybe the eyes stay closed. Taking pause here to notice the effects of your practice on your body, on your mind, on your spirit. Bringing palms together sweetly at your heart, reconnecting to that word or phrase that brought you to the mat today. And let's sing together the sound of Om one time. First, a breath. Take a nice inhale. And let it go. Inhale. Bowing your thinking mind to your heart, honoring that light within, allowing that light to shine brightly for you and everyone you choose to surround yourself with today and the rest of your week. Lifting your chin, and together we say, Namaste.